Hey guys, I know I haven't done a video in a little bit. I actually, funny enough, did one 3 or 4 nights ago and then I forgot to upload it, so I thought I'd just go and do a whole new one. Come on and say hi, see how everyone's doing, give you updates on what's going on. Yeah, you know, that kind of thing, basic stuff. So it is September 11th. Wow, I'm doing a video on September 11th. Okay. That's a day the world will never forget. So yeah, it's September 11th. Lots going on, lots not going on. Let's see. So since the last time that I posted a video, I have stopped working. I'm on medical leave again. It's so much pain in my body that I couldn't do my job. I was standing at the front counter fighting back tears because my back and my knees and my feet and everything was just hurting constantly. I would go to clean something in my workplace and I couldn't bend down properly and I couldn't stay on my knees long because the pressure on them was just too much. So there was nothing really that I felt like I could do. So then I was getting anxiety attacks about going to work and not being able to do my job or function or meet the requirements that I would need to meet. On top of the fact that I've been really concerned about the fact that the pain in my body has been getting worse. One thing I should say is that the pain isn't new. It's not just a weight related thing. I think the excess weight makes it worse, but it's not the sole cause of the weight in my body. I have had pain issues since I was a child. My mom used to say she would touch me and I would scream in pain and say ow, and my mom has fibromyalgia and she's often wondered as I've grown up if I also had fibromyalgia. So I went to talk to my doctor and she's put me on a new medication to see if we can get the pain under control, because it just was getting to the point where like it hurts for me to close my hands, particularly my left hand. My wrists are always hurting. I've got the migraines and then just aches and pains all over my body. And even just to like sometimes touch my skin or touch me, it's more painful than pleasurable. So someone can give me a hug and it actually hurts instead of, being a nice comforting feeling. So yeah, we're trying that. So I right now have a tentative diagnosis of fibromyalgia to add to the migraines and the asthma and the psoriasis and the millions of other things. I seem to just like keep collecting. I feel like I am a collection site for illnesses some days, but you know what? It's a learning curve. It's partly bad eating. It's partly genetics. It's partly, shall I say it, I'm getting older. So, it's part of just being an adult is just dealing with medical issues. That's a normal part of life. So, that's happened in the last couple weeks. I've also had to walk with a dear set of family friends of mine through a tragic loss, and that was really heartbreaking, to see them go through that. So that was very, very difficult. And there's something that I think everyone can agree on is no matter what, there's never the right words to say to someone who is grieving. And so it was very hard to try and be support to them and just feel so lost for words. And I really did. I felt so lost for words, for anything to be useful or comforting. So, and then outside of that, I did, in terms of my bariatric surgery, I have completed all my requirements to get the surgery. Once those were all completed, I was able to call the clinic and say, okay, I'm done. I've done everything. I've done my scope. I've done the cyclovals. I've done everything. And the nurse said, okay, we're going to present you to a surgeon. We'll see what they say, because ultimately the surgeons have the final say as to whether or not they're going to approve you for surgery. So they take into consideration everything that everybody else has written, and then they make the decisions. And so there's 2 surgeons where I live, which is in Kingston, and then there's some surgeons in Toronto. I was really hoping to get my surgery here in Kingston. I, however, will be going to Toronto. And I found that out because I was approved by the surgeon to go ahead and get the surgery. And so I did my pre-surgical class almost 3 weeks ago. I think it'd be 3 weeks this Wednesday. It was almost 2 weeks this Wednesday. It was the 30th of August. I did my pre-surgical class. I was given my surgery location, so I will be going to Toronto for surgery. And then I was given my appointment to meet with the surgeon, which was supposed to be this Friday, the 15th. But unfortunately, they called and said, surgeon's not going to be able to make that appointment. Do you mind if we move it another week? And I kind of chuckled to myself because I thought, what would they do if I said, yes, I do mind? Like, I don't want you to move the date. I don't think that it would make a lick of a difference, but I love that they are trying to make you feel like you have a say. So now I will meet with the surgeon on the 22nd. The nice thing is that I don't have to travel the almost 3 hours to meet the surgeon that it would take. I get to meet him remotely through kind of like a Skype setup. And I don't know what to ask him. They say, you get about 15 minutes with the surgeon, bring your questions, write them down. And I really feel like I have no questions. Like, I'm like, okay, like, we're doing this, I guess my only question that I have for him is like, are you going to do bypass, or are you thinking you're going to do the sleeve? I personally want bypass, but I'm going to obviously trust my surgeon that he knows better than I do. This is what he's done for studies. So, and then outside of that, I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm good to go. I just kind of want to know what's happening, what the surgery looks like. But I've done a lot of research, so I know generally, even with the sleeve, with bypass, what the surgeries look like, kind of internally, what they're doing to your body, how it then affects you externally, all of those things. So I don't even really need him to give me a whole rundown. I just kind of want to know his opinion. And I was thinking, I don't know what I would ask a surgeon. What do you ask a surgeon? Do you have a mortality rate? Part of me wants to know, and the other part of me is like, don't tell me. Because, if there has been people that have died on the operating table, which I know is common practice, I know is a risk of having surgery, I kind of don't want to know, because then that's all I'll be thinking about. So, as the surgery gets closer, I of course get more nervous and more excited all at the same time, because I know it's coming closer. I know that this part of my journey is going to end, and I'll be able to step into that next part, whatever that looks like. And I'm sure that there's going to be lots of ups and downs and lots of inside outs even, and goodness only knows, and it's going to be a learning curve, and I know it's going to be a lot of work, but I'm excited for what that's going to look like and what it's going to bring. So once I meet with the surgeon, so not this Friday, but the next Friday, he'll give me my actual surgery date. He'll tell me how long I need to be on shakes for. So here in Canada, we do shakes called OptiFast, and they are a nutritional supplement shake that has all of your daily vitamin requirements in it. And the reason why they get you to do that is they want to they drop you down. So the shakes, you get four shakes a day. There's 900 calories in total for all 4 shakes, so they've separated it out. So they take you from whatever you're eating before surgery to the 900 calories, which makes you drop weight, clearly, because you're not gonna, there's no way you can gain weight if you're only consuming 900 calories. Like, maybe not lose any weight, but I can't see you gaining weight. So they drop you down to the 900 calories. The other thing is that with the weight loss, they want to reduce the size of your liver, because as we get bigger, our liver will grow in size. So they reduce the size of your liver so that when they're going in to do the surgery, they're not accidentally going to nick the liver because it gets in the way or anything like that. So they request we do these shakes. It is a requirement. They're not cheap. They're about $100 a week. So you get to choose chocolate or vanilla, or you can do one of each, or you can do all of one flavor, or a couple boxes of one and the majority of the other. And so $50 a box, $100 a week. And then they base how long you need to be on it based on your BMI. I have a feeling I'm going to be on for 4 weeks. Here in Kingston, they automatically do 3. It doesn't matter kind of where you're coming in at. Other places will do it longer. I know some people who have been on the shakes, they were on them for 3 months. So it's one of those, like, they look at your risk factors, all of your health conditions, your weight, your body structure. They look at everything and determine what you need for your shake allotment, and then you will get those. So they want you to basically start them right away. You'll get your surgery date, so you want to be taking those all the way up until the night before your surgery, and then of course, like most surgeries, nothing by mouth and everything else. So I'll travel to Toronto to get my surgery, and I'll probably be in the hospital 2 days, barring any complications. So as long as everything goes smoothly, which I'm praying it does, probably looking at 2 days in the hospital or 2 nights and that kind of thing. And then come back home and finish my healing. They say 6 to 8 weeks off work. It depends on, again, the multitude of factors, how you're healing, if there's been any complications, anything like that. So they take all of that into consideration. So it's going to be, I think, a long 3 months. And if I calculate this out right, probably I'm going to be having surgery end of October. So that long 3 months is going to take us into the new year. But I'm excited because that means I'll be starting the new year as a new person, with new challenges, but also with new abilities, because as I lose weight, I know I'm able to do so much more. And I have some goals set with my husband of things that I would like to do, and just some personal goals that I have set that I'm not even sure I've shared with anybody, of just things that I would like to do and be able to accomplish and not be self-conscious about and whatnot. So those are kind of the big things, I guess, that's going on, the bigger ones. I'm trying to think if there's really too much else that's happened recently. Decided to go back to school once this is kind of all said and done and settled. I've been fighting a lot of years denying that I should do early childhood education, which is when I was in high school. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do early childhood education. This is what I'm going to do. And then somewhere along the line, I was like, someone told me that I could never do anything more than community college. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you that I'm smarter than that. And I didn't realize back then, when I was 19, that your intelligence has nothing to do with whether you go to a community college or whether you go to a university, and that it has everything to do with how you treat people, how you perceive the world, how much you're willing to learn. Your intelligence is based on so much more than the school that you attend at the end of the day. So I fought it for a long time, and I went to university, and I failed out of university, not because I wasn't smart enough actually, but because, I shouldn't say I failed it. I was forced to leave for medical reasons, because it was in university. I started having seizures and heart problems and fainting spells and stuff. So I made it through my first full year, a good portion of my second year, and then had started my third year, and was just like, I can't continue this pattern, and left. So I had been going for a psych degree, was my main focus. And then I've always thought, oh, I'm going to do something that revolves around like having a psych degree. or like a social, like I'm going to work in some sort of like sociological aspect. I'll be a social worker or that kind of thing. And just came to the point where I was like, yes, those are all admirable things. Those are all things that I can see myself doing. But at the end of the day, if I was to look at what my passions are, if I was to take away if I got paid for it or not, the things that I come back to are either like music and church related stuff or kids. I love hanging out with kids. I love taking care of kids. I love being there. So I think that's going to be the best. So I'm actually excited because you may say like, okay, so what does all this have to do with like you going for surgery? Well, part of it is I stopped following any dreams to pursue school because of the weight gain. Because I realized that I couldn't bend and lift and move, and if I was going to be working at a daycare, I couldn't get down on the floor with the infants or the toddlers and get back up again. I couldn't move quick enough that if you have a child that's darting out of the yard or away, that I could run and grab them and keep them safe. And so I just took a step back from all of that. I took a step back from, I had taken a personal support worker course here, which is like a nurse's aide kind of deal, and I had stopped doing that. About halfway through that program, I stopped going, in part because I recognized that there are things about that job I just wouldn't be able to do given my physical stature and my limitations, that I wouldn't be able to help people as much as they needed because I wouldn't be able to get up and down off the ground or do lifts and transfers properly. And so I gave up on that dream. So all of my dreams of like going to school or working or following whatever dream I've had, I've given up because of the physical limitations or because of the way I see myself or the way that other people see me. And so I'm looking forward to getting the surgery because I think it's going to allow me the option to go back to school to do something like the early childhood education program that we have here, or even like a child psychology. Our community college has a lot of options in terms of if you want to work with kids, but to take a course like that and then pursue working with children in an aspect that that actually works, where I can feel like I'm making a difference and I can feel fulfilled, and I'm not worried about whether or not I can get down on the floor and play with the kids, or that I'm not going to be able to keep them safe. Even as a woman, looking at having kids, one of my biggest struggles is I would pray for baby, but at the same time I would be like, God, I'm so afraid that I'm going to be the mom who can't get to their child if something happens because I can't move quick enough. And I know adrenaline does crazy things and there's things that we're able to do, but it's not a risk I want to take. And so, I'm thankful in some ways that I haven't had kids yet, and that's a whole nother story, but those are some of the things that I'm really looking forward to after surgery. Is I really want to go back to school and start following some of those dreams and seeing where they take me and seeing what I can do and what that all looks like. So anyways, so really, really long video to give you all of those updates. I hope you're all doing well, and that you had fantastic summers. If you have kids or you're going back to school, that your transition into the school year is going smoothly so far. If you are being affected by the wildfires in BC or the hurricanes in the States, that you're just keeping safe, and please know that I'm praying for you. I'm praying for your safety and your families, and if I can help in any way, I would help in a heartbeat. So just know that you're not alone and you're being prayed for and cared about. Alright guys, I hope you all have a great night, and I will talk to you later. Bye.